how the Dallas Cowboys have broken the NFL. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Dallas Cowboys claim that Micah Parsons will break the NFL this upcoming season. Micah Parsons has developed into a bona fide game wrecker for the Dallas Cowboys, with CBS Sports stating that the franchise can't afford to lose the star pass-rushing linebacker. Since being selected 12th overall in the 2021 NFL Draft by the Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons has been a high-level production machine. Initially drafted as a linebacker out of Penn State, Parsons showed his ability as an edge rusher in his rookie campaign. Now, with 2 NFL seasons under his belt, the pass-rushing linebacker may be the best defensive player in football. His value to defensive coordinator Dan Quinn's unit must be recognized. But what about his importance to the team? CBS Sports has compiled a list of all 32 NFL teams and the one player they can't afford to lose. For Dallas, that's Micah. CeeDee Lamb is a star out wide, and his absence would surely affect Dak Prescott, who'll be counting on Brandon Cooks to help him downfield, CBS Sports writes. But Parsons is the heart and soul of the team, his rangy athleticism enabling Dallas to be creative on D. As CBS Sports mentions, quarterback Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are other viable candidates, but given how well Cooper Rush fared last season, 4-1 as the starter in Dak's absence, and with the addition of Cooks, perhaps the potential loss of Prescott and Lamb could be offset. But without Micah? While the Cowboys possess a pass-rushing unit that is the envy of the league, Parsons stands above them all, and we have the stats to back it up. In each of his 2 NFL seasons, Parsons has led the Cowboys in sacks, tackles for loss, forced fumbles, and quarterback hits on his way to back-to-back All-Pro honors. The case could be made that there is enough depth with DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Osa Odigizua, and more, all capable of picking up some of the slack left by Parsons. But Micah is the true definition of a needle mover for the Cowboys, and raises the bar for the defense to a point where, for some, they are on par with the defensive units of the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Parsons has already shown his abilities as a game wrecker, and just 2 years into his career, the shocking thing is, he can still improve. The defense goes as Micah goes, which is why the Cowboys can't do without the pass-rushing linebacker next season. On top of this, the Cowboys could add Leonard Fournette that could break the NFL. Recently, there was some news regarding Dallas Cowboys running back Tony Pollard being open to an extension with the team. Pollard has been productive thus far in his career with the team, and he eclipsed the 1,000-yard rushing mark for the first time in his career in 2022, while averaging over 5 yards per carry. On the surface, re-signing would make sense for both sides. The Cowboys needed more playmaking options for much of last year, and given the rough market for running backs, a long-term contract is a gift at this point. That's the key theme: assurances. Pollard, and more importantly the team, needs assurances. The Cowboys don't have any proven talent behind Pollard if he were to get injured again. So while the Pollard contract will be a talking point until next month's deadline to come to terms on a contract, the Cowboys must focus on covering their bases behind Pollard this season. The best way they can do that is to pick up a veteran just in case, like Leonard Fournette. Adding Fournette to the roster makes a ton of sense. Fournette has a reputation around the NFL for being a versatile option out of the backfield, who can be a formidable downhill runner and has good hands in the passing game. Though he may not precisely fit the type of runner wanted in McCarthy's new offense, his traits are helpful in spurts. Currently, the Cowboys don't have a runner they can rely on in short yardage and near the goal line. At 6 feet and 228 pounds, Fournette should have no problem filling in as the goal line runner for a club that struggled in that area when Ezekiel Elliott was not on the field in goal-to-go situations. Additionally, Fournette still has just enough speed to break away from defenses occasionally. The best part of this potential pairing is that it mutually benefits the team and Fournette. Since departing from Jacksonville, Fournette has worked as part of a backfield tandem in Tampa Bay, and isn't as worn down as some would think. He has only surpassed the 200-carry threshold twice in his career, and still has tread left on the tire. Considering how cool Fournette's market has been, the cost should be a reasonable discount. The second story is, Troy Aikman reveals what Dallas Cowboys need to do to win the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys, once a dominant force in the 1990s, have been yearning for another taste of Super Bowl glory. Led by legendary quarterback Troy Aikman, the Cowboys clinched 3 Super Bowl titles in the span of just 4 seasons between 1992 and 1995. However, their success has waned in recent years, leaving fans and experts wondering what has held the team back from reaching similar heights. Aikman, an iconic figure from the Cowboys' golden era, recently shared his thoughts on the team's postseason struggles in an interview with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. According to him, the Cowboys' biggest obstacle in their playoff losses has been poorly timed mental lapses, despite possessing a roster brimming with talent. Acknowledging the organization's commendable efforts and the coaching staff's competence, Aikman emphasized that the players themselves must rise above their mental shortcomings. While he offered no direct solution, he stressed the importance of playing their best football when it matters most. Winning games, having great players, and an excellent organization is not the issue for them, Aikman remarked. The problem lies in their inability to perform at their peak during crucial moments. Overcoming this challenge is key for each and every player. As the 2023 season approaches, hopes are high among Cowboys fans that the team will reclaim their former glory and capture another Super Bowl victory. A closer look at their current roster reveals a mix of potential and proven talent. Leading the charge is superstar quarterback Dak Prescott, who recently entered the second half of his 4-year contract extension. Despite leading the league in interceptions thrown last season with 15, Prescott remains a formidable force, though he experienced a postseason interception for the first time in his career. The Cowboys will be without Ezekiel Elliott, as the running back was released in March due to a decline in performance compared to Tony Pollard. Nonetheless, Dallas boasts a talented receiving corps, highlighted by emerging star CeeDee Lamb, while offensive protection is bolstered by standout players like Zach Martin. The departure of tight end Dalton Schultz to the Houston Texans is a loss, but the team remains confident in its offensive firepower. On the defensive side of the ball, the Cowboys showcase a formidable unit anchored by Pro Bowlers such as DeMarcus Lawrence on the defensive line, Micah Parsons and Leighton Vander Esch in the middle, and Trayvon Diggs in the backfield. The addition of rookie defensive tackle Mazi Smith and free agent cornerback Stephon Gilmore adds depth and experience to an already talented defense. With a roster featuring an array of star power and promising young talent, the Dallas Cowboys appear poised to make a run for the Super Bowl. However, it remains to be seen whether they can conquer their mental hurdles and perform at their best when the stakes are highest. However, not everyone has high hopes for the Dallas Cowboys. Plaxico Burress will always be loved by New York Giants Nation thanks to his Super Bowl-winning touchdown grab versus Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. The former star wideout hasn't forgotten about his former team and the multiple rivalries the Giants have in the NFC East. This includes the Dallas Cowboys, who the G-Men will be hosting come Week 1 for what should be a thrilling Sunday Night Football showdown. Entering that contest, plenty of attention is going to Dak Prescott. Cowboys supporters are dreaming and hoping that this is the year Prescott gets America's team back to the Super Bowl. Burress doesn't see that happening in a 23. Matter of fact, he doesn't think that will ever happen with Prescott running the offense. Cowboys fans are calling out Burress for this take. But let's be real here. Prescott hasn't lived up to the hype for this team. Last season, there was plenty of Super Bowl buzz for the Cowboys ahead of the campaign, but another year passed with Dallas watching the big game from home. Prescott helped his squad take down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wildcard round, but the Dallas offense looked awful against the San Francisco 49 ERs in the divisional round. In that loss, Dak tossed for 206 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions in the 19-12 loss. Yeah, those numbers aren't going to cut it. Heading into the 2023 campaign, plenty of analysts think that Daniel Jones will post a better year than Prescott. We agree with that feeling, as expectations are sky high for Danny Dimes now that he's signed his $160 million deal. While we don't think the Giants will be Super Bowl contenders just yet, we do think Jones will take his game to new heights thanks to the offensive additions who have been brought to town. The third story is Mazi Smith will surprise the rest of the NFL. The Cowboys dropped jaws when they selected Michigan's Mazi Smith in the first round of the 2023 draft. It marked the first time in decades they used a first-rounder on the interior defensive line, and it showed Dallas had finally accepted they needed to add resources to their defensive interior to get over the playoff hump. The need was fairly obvious. The Cowboys were bounced from the past 2 postseasons, in part because of their soft defensive interior. Dallas knows they have to get better in run defense and in creating pressure from inside if they want to challenge for the NFC crown. While it's clear Smith will help address that issue inside, his impact may not be right here in 2023. Not all positions hit the ground running when transitioning from the college game to the NFL. Positions like defensive tackle have a tendency to take time. The NFL often asks them to play different roles and responsibilities than they'd been accustomed to in college. Many interior defensive linemen also enter the NFL underdeveloped. They often won on sheer ability in college and didn't need technical skills to win matchups. That all changes in the pros, where everyone is just as big, strong, and athletic, and technique and discipline is often what separates winners from losers on any given play. This is all important to keep in mind when setting expectations for Smith. Look no further than the previous rookie draft class as an example. Per ESPN position designations, Jordan Davis and Devonte Wyatt were the only 2 tackles drafted in the first. Davis played just 225 snaps, while Wyatt played just 224. Per PFF stat tracking, neither player reached even 10 pressures during their rookie season. This is by no means abnormal. Going back 3 more draft classes, most first-round DTs only made modest contributions on defense in their first season. Before Davis and Wyatt came Derek Brown and Javon Kinlaw. Brown logged an impressive 732 snaps with 34 pressures, while Kinlaw a more modest 557 snaps and 19 pressures. Going back even further, Quinnen Williams posted 512 snaps and 19 pressures. Ed Oliver 557 snaps and 29 pressures. Dexter Lawrence 710 snaps and 30 pressures.